Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. We have another supporter stream. Let me remember unmute everybody. There we go. How's it going, guys?
Hey guys.
Hello.
We got Dan, we got Ricky, and we got Rick. We have a Rick and a Ricky, so there we have it. All right. Let's see. How you doing, Ricky? Down south. Ricky down south. How you doing?
Very good. Very good. Everything's been pretty much holding up okay. I've just been reading up my Arch Linux system as of late, and basically I am getting used to the iFree window manager and using Vim and VIFM, which is the Vim file manager.
Very cool. Awesome. Very good. And we'll go to the Rick up north. How's it going up there your way?
Boy, we've got quite a delay up here.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
About a 5-second delay. What's up?
Oh, not a whole lot. How you doing up that way? Yeah, I think we do have a big delay up that way. I think the Eskimos are running the cables up and just.
Well, Ricky, are you watching the? Rick, are you watching the web browser that's being displayed to everybody else, or the Jitsi browser that we're using?
Yeah, if you watch,
use the Jitsi browser.
Yeah, use the Jitsi browser to view.
Oh, you mean they're gonna bail and log back in, eh?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Just watch the Jitsi screen instead of what's live on YouTube. That way you shouldn't have much delay. Unless it's just the guys up there with the tin cans and the rope. So that's always possible. All right. Well, you're set to get yourself sorted out. We're going to be talking about the benefits of FOSS. And I know I originally said I was going to do just an open chat today and not prepare for anything, but Dio Titus had something up in the Discord server under the recommended, and I thought that'd be a good thing. And that's benefits of FOSS, looking at the privacy, the practical sense, and things like that. To this end, TechLore just today released a video. I think it was... was it the CEO, I think, of Catalyst, maybe? I forget. And they were actually talking about the importance of FOSS and how some businesses will actually Some businesses will actually not succeed because they're spending so much money on licensing fees. And that's one of the things that I said could be an issue with CentOS going the way of CentOS Stream. And then, businesses having to fork out even more money for another server-type subscription model. It's like the last thing we need right now is to be handing over more money and more money and more money, particularly when you're on a shoestring budget. So that's kind of what I wanted to chat about. And I did actually find a nice article. I did forget to send it out to you guys, but this is from belfast.eecs.qub.ac.uk. I have no earthly idea who came up with that string of stuff, but it's somewhere over in the UK, free and open source software conference in Belfast. And they actually just had a couple nice little points. Now, before we get into the article, let's hear your thoughts. Ricky, we'll start with you because you're on my screen right now. What's your initial thoughts on benefits of FOSS for as far as using different services, FOSS services and things?
Well, I honestly think, for the most part, and I think everybody in this room would agree with me, I think the biggest benefit of FOSS services is, for the most part, I don't know if this is for all FOSS services, but for most of the ones that I know, you really don't have to worry about a EULA.
Yeah, I mean, some of them will have a little bit of a EULA, but not anything nearly significant like, Microsoft. Hey, sign here. Oh, did you read section 772, paragraph 666 that you now belong to me? Your forever immortal soul is now mine,
Yeah. The other point that I want to bring up about FOSS software is one thing that I've been noticing is, since social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter, Google, since they're all going down the drain, a lot of these new and upcoming search engines and social networking sites are basically mainly using FOSS software.
Yeah, there's especially I mean, any server can go down or have some service interruptions, but the last couple of days, Google has actually had some service interruptions on some of their products. And, if you're relying on Google as your backbone, if Google goes down, a whole lot of businesses are impacted. If just your little server goes down, yours might be impacted, which is bad for you, but not seriously detrimental for everybody else. Rick, we'll jump over to you. Do you get yourself sorted out there? There you go.
Yeah, I don't hear any bad echo anymore.
All right, there you go.
Delay feedback. But I think it might be in my end. I got a couple of granddaughters that are hammering the internet right now.
Yeah, we don't actually hear any background noise right now.
Anyway,
so you're good.
Yeah, I pretty well use free and open source software. I just discovered a really sweet one, Abbey Word. I didn't realize it existed. My memory is not too good at my age, and I have to make notes, and so I like to copy notes on how to fix something and put little picture clips in a word processor. Well, Nano doesn't do it, or any of the standard text editors, and so I find I make little notes, and I find Abbey Word, man, it's real simple to use, and I just discovered it last night. And
cool.
I've got some computer issues. I bought an SSD and set as my boot drive, but I get a log off error. It says unable to disconnect the boot drive. It's a recent bug, but it's happened before. But anyway, I need little notes like that and how to. But I don't use too much games. I find I'm too old to play the fast first-person shooters, so I'm not a real Steam fan.
Yeah.
But I love like Zero AD, and that's more my pace. And some of the Tux racers, and so if you don't get too complicated, and yet the big biggies like GIMP and OBS and that. It'll do anything. It'll take me another 15 years to figure those out. There's lots of
there's some
features that they have. So it's certainly not lacking in power. It just the old brain doesn't learn that fast anymore. So I don't need any Windows stuff. I've quit Windows 4 years now ago. Started with the Raspberry Pi.
Very good.
That led me astray. Or back to full.
It's getting cold in here.
Oh,
the furnace is turned off.
The furnace decided to die. It's an issue, a regular issue, so I'm gonna pop out for a bit.
All right,
just fix that.
Well, you got the link when you come back in. So we'll see you in a bit. All right, Dan, what's your initial thoughts, benefits, FOSS?
Well, one good thing about FOSS is that it's open source software, and if you wish to look at the code and examine it, you can, and everybody else that uses Linux out there can too. There are people out there, that watch over it and make sure that we don't have any spyware or anything like that gets implanted into it, and then it gets into the repos, and everybody has major Windows-like problems. So, FOSS, I wish that there was like more people that were working on it. I've noticed that older software packages are no longer being updated. They're just kind of just left out in the wind to flap in the breeze. I guess Canonical's answer to that is put it in a snap and it'll live in there forever.
There you go. Yeah, somebody will maintain it, right?
It's just got to work with the system and not interfere with any of the other parts of Linux.
Yeah, absolutely.
I find FOSS software very fascinating to dig through the repos and look for stuff that could do the job that some Windows software can do, and how many pieces of it you need to accomplish that task. Most of us have computers that have either one or the other purpose. The first purpose would be is you use your computer for production or work-like situations.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of us, it's just a hobby or game machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I'm more on the hobby game machine multimedia side rather than doing hardcore word processing and book writing and, you know, trying to really come up with useful products out of the computer.
Mm-hmm.
But FOSS software has a lot going for it. I just wish more people were involved in it instead of, we have a lot of people just want to make their own distro nowadays, you know, and I get it's, you know, it's a thing, but I wish they would first give a thought of joining a FOSS project before starting a distro of their own.
Yeah, you won't be seeing us switch to Linux distro anytime soon. There's too many other priorities I have, and I think that
Well,
there's
I know
plenty of distros that are great, you know?
Well, I know you're a working man and you use your computers on the first item I mentioned, a production use. Your computers, you know, make your bread and butter.
Yeah, that's for me. As I switched to Linux because I had to, because Windows was no longer an option. Like, no, Windows no longer an option. So that's what I did.
My TIFF was the EULA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well,
that's why I had no other option.
Yeah.
No, I will not sell my soul to Microsoft. Sorry. All right, what's Mark think? Mark just jumped on. How you doing, Mark?
I think today is hell.
Oh, today is hell. Okay. So, what are the benefits of HELL then?
No benefits to hell.
No benefits to hell. All right.
FOSS, however.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, man.
FOSS is wonderful. I use Ocular.
Mm-hmm.
Ocular is a PDF reader. Ocular is a substitute for Adobe Acrobat Reader in Windows. Ocular is beautiful. It gives a tabbed functionality, so you can have and work with multiple PDF files.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You know, Ocular is very straightforward and user friendly, easy to use. I also use Oaken Audio. Oaken Audio is an audio editor that I use in place of Audacity that was introduced to me through Gardner's channel. Gardner, he used to be on the show with Brian Lunduke. Trying to think of his name.
Yeah,
the Linux Gamer.
Linux Gamer.
Yeah, the Linux Gamer. Linux Gamer. He changed his name back over to just his last name, I think, recently.
Yeah, he's trying to get away from the gaming element and just general Linux stuff. So
yeah,
he actually has. If you want to find him, you can't find him. If nothing else, head on over to the Linode's YouTube channel. He's actually doing some of the tutorials for Linode right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't always agree with this stuff, but I do like him as a person, and he has some good stuff. When he's right, he's right. When he's right, he seems to be really on point. But I like him. I think he's a good human being. But that's just me. Sometimes I just watch people because I like them as people. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of what they say, but I like them as people.
Sure.
Kind of like Review Tech USA.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ocular and Oaken Audio. Oaken Audio is an audio editor. It's really just user simple to use, easy to edit audio when you need to
but I want
edit a clip before
complicated.
You use what now?
I want complicated. I don't want simple. I want complicated.
Well, I know it's got some controls in there, no doubt. It's got some granularity to it, but it's the older I get, I do need a little bit of that fine granular control, but I don't want a whole lot of it. I just need to be able to change a few things and make some edits without having to drive through 1,500 menus.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and jump over to the article up from Belfast. And so up here, they're kind of talking about what is free and open source software for anybody that just jumped on. Thank you for that super chat, Dan. Appreciate that. So it says here the 4 essential freedoms: the freedom to run the program as you wish for any purpose. Now, some people in the more more what you'd call the woke side of the world are trying to produce a new type of license that you can use it for free as long as you don't use it for X, Y, or Z purpose. Like, whatever. And then B is the freedom to study how the program works, to change it so it does your computing as you wish. Freedom 1. Access to the source code as a precondition for this. Freedom to redistribute copies so you can help your neighbor. Freedom 2. And the freedom to distribute copies of your modified versions to others. Freedom 3. By doing this, you can give a whole community a chance to benefit from your changes. Access to the source code is a precondition for all of this. So the ability to see and audit and edit the source code. Now, most of us are not programmers who would have the ability to open the code up and audit it, but we can generally have a trust that other people have audited it in the software community if it is a free and open source application, at least if it's been around or has any use cases. So there's just a really brief thing, and I kind of wanted to bring that up just to kind of indicate that I'm using free and open source software. As Dan said, I'm a professional. I do build websites. I write books. I actually started the publishing company, which I just released out. So I'm publishing other people's works all on free and open source software. And then hopefully the ability is that I can produce a system in such a way that we can save enough money to give authors back more than what another company might. And then if we grow big enough, hopefully the goal is to turn around and start funding some of the software programs we're using, which would be a good thing down the road. Right now we give what we can, but we're still very, very, very startup. So, but yeah, everything I'm doing in that arena is all free and open source stuff. So I'm using it for calendar appointments, for cloud infrastructure, obviously server technologies. What else do we have going on? We have like a free Trello based board to give people different tasks and assignments. So there's a lot of free and open source software tools in there, mailing lists, just all sorts of stuff that you can use. And the ability to use all these things is actually a very fabulous and fascinating thing. So there's our thoughts in my original take. So, of course, when we had the idea, it was to look at also some of the privacy elements. So does anybody want to speak about the privacy elements of free and open source software before I jump into that? Anyone want to jump in?
I think I covered my thoughts.
Yeah, let's Ricky. Go ahead, Ricky. Ricky down south.
Okay. I think pretty much it's very simple for the privacy aspect. I mean, the biggest part when it comes to privacy with FOSS software is you can be pretty much assured that that basically there will be no trackers, no ads, no viruses, no nothing.
At least nothing that you don't know about.
At least nothing that nobody knows about. Because let's just face it right now. If something was to happen, the Linux community would be on top of it like wine on rice, and it would be dealt with.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Another privacy aspect of FOSS software, though, that makes it very unique is we're starting to get into an age to where the privacy aspects of FOSS software are starting to influences other devices other than computers, like basically phones and tablets, for example. Like I'll give the biggest
doorbells and microwaves.
Yeah. Yeah, the two biggest examples when it comes to privacy and FOSS software, in my opinion, is the Pine 64 phone and the Pine 64 tablet. I've seen pictures of devices, I've seen videos of the devices. They are really good devices, and new OSs are being pushed out for these phones all the time. Just recently on DistroWatch, I spotted an article, OpenSUSE is now on the phone.
Mm-hmm. That's okay, cool. We need more of those. So actually, I know PinePhone just released a Plasma Mobile version as well. So That's good. So yeah, it's good to start seeing some of these things
Mhm.
come out. But for me, the biggest deal with privacy stuff is you can get these different services to help you in different ways, and there's free and open source versions, and there's the big corporate conglomerate versions. Like the other day, one of the clients I do work with, he's like, I'm trying to get myself organized, so I'm gonna sign up for this program and send you the link. And I look through the stuff, they're like, oh, they absolutely require you to log in with a Google account. Sorry, I really don't use those much. And I'm certainly not attaching it to my YouTube channel, which is really, I do that. I do have a Google account with that web design business. But if you think I'm going to be connecting it and granting it permissions to anything and everything this third-party group wants to do because somebody else is disorganized, not me, you got another thing coming. And that's the thing, because I looked at the terms of service and it's like, this is a scary thing. And we give ourselves and all of this data and all this tracking to these companies without even reading what they're doing with the data, all for our convenience. And with free and open source software, there may be tools out there which will do essentially the same thing that we don't have to give up that privacy for. So that's kind of my big approach for that. Anyone else want to jump in on anything there? Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking of going along with some of what you're saying.
Go right ahead.
Is the free and open software, the source code is obviously available, but something else is how they do it is open source too. Like all their documentation can be looked at by experts. And if there's something shady going on, the open source community will say, hey, this is not copacetic. Whereas when you sign up for proprietary software, you never know. Even if you read the agreements, they're big, long agreements, and you have and even the stuff they don't tell you. So, whereas even if anything shady is going on with open source, the community will jump on it too pretty quick. So.
Yeah, and that was the case.
Those points are brought out, so.
Yeah, that was the case not long ago when Manjaro wanted to, take out LibreOffice and put, was it SoftMaker Office in, I think, which is a proprietary Linux application, and the community went insane, and they're like, maybe that was a bad idea. So now they give you the choice. You can use that one, or you can use the LibreOffice. Choice is fine. I don't mind there being the proprietary options. I don't mind a proprietary option in Linux. I don't mind. As long as I have the choice whether or not I use it, which of course I do either way. Just don't use Manjaro if they kept to that plan. But same thing. I have choice. I'm not using Windows anymore. Sorry, Microsoft. Y'all done bad. Mark, did you have something to say?
Another
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
noticed. I'll let you go. Go ahead.
Mark, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention one thing that has not been mentioned yet. The donation aspect of open source software is really helpful, especially in the case of Linux distributions where you might have a low-income family that you're trying to help, and they can't really afford to go out and pay a lot for a Windows license after they've already paid for a computer. So the Windows licensing gets really expensive, and the fact that they can still give and donate to a project, anybody can financially support a project, even if it's just a couple of dollars each month.
Yeah,
your givings along with others will keep that project up and going a lot of times. And you might not realize how vital your little $2 or $3 a month is until you stop giving and see that a project is struggling to receive funding. If there's something that you do use regular and you can't afford to do so, I do recommend donating to them if you really enjoy the project, because that's how a lot of these projects do get funded. Not that there's anything particularly I don't necessarily like for the reasons the gentleman said about, not knowing what's in the code with proprietary software is the biggest reason for me to move over. But it is, I don't necessarily have anything against proprietary software. If it's like from an untrustworthy company, that's where I start to worry more about what are they putting in this code. And the way things are nowadays, it's gotten a lot worse with them sticking things in proprietary software. So I think mentioning that is really key too.
Yeah,
it's
important. It's important to see
that.
It's important to see like what they're doing with what they did just very, very quietly. Microsoft did very, very quietly just like 2 days before Thanksgiving. Hey, we're going to roll out a whole suite that totally spies on absolutely everything you do and then give a report to your boss.
It's terrible, yeah.
And that Manjaro was FreeOffice or LibreOffice. Thanks, guys, for the correction in the comments there. All right, Rick, I think you had something else to say. Rick up north? Yep.
Yeah, something else I noticed, some of the software out there is really old and obsolete. Like some stuff it doesn't even work anymore. But I thought that was unique to Linux because they've got stuff that's still 30 years old, and some is great and some is just garbage. But on the other hand, I thought, I hadn't encountered those too. You go on a program and download a program and sounds promising, and it's just, remember the shareware days? Some was really great and some was just terrible, crappy. So really, but if you don't like it, you can just delete it. And the nice thing about the Linux stuff is, again, you can be sure there's no spyware in there. So even if it doesn't work, who cares? You just delete it, it's gone. Where the Windows stuff, you never know what's lingering around after.
Yeah, I think both.
But
of them.
I don't use any heavyweight applications. Like I have LibreOffice, but it's way too heavy for me. And so my new love is AbiWord. Just those little kind of things. There's always something that suits your case use. Like in your case, you need the heavyweight stuff. But I'm just a hobbyist and amateur, and if I want the full LibreOffice, I can use it, and if I want to use AbiWord or just Nano or whatever I want, there's lots of choices. So you just have to poke around like shareware sometime and see what's good and what suits you. That's a nice thing about it. And the tools are unbelievable, like command line tools and finding stuff out. And if you do a Google search, you can search all kinds of stuff. Like I recently had to, because I have an SSD for my main and iron for my home directory, I had to figure out all this UUID stuff. And it's on the internet. You try to find some of that stuff for Windows. Lots of luck, so it's got lots of advantages. So, and again, it runs on anything, like Dinosaur 32-bit computers. I think I had one with an Atom processor and a 32-bit. It ran a web browser. You have to wait for not quite a minute for the page to come up, but it still works.
Yeah, click. It was like remember the old days of computers back in, like Windows 3.1. You booted on the computer, you went and made a popcorn, you watched half a movie, you came back and the computer was just getting ready for you to start.
I have still my copy of Windows 3.1.
Oh man, I think I had one at one point in time. Yeah,
8 floppies.
Yeah, I know I had one at one point in time, and I don't think I have it anymore.
I might have 5 Windows 5 around.
Yeah, I have a Windows 95 OEM disk and a Windows 98 OEM disk. So that's fun.
Something
something
I wanted to remind people: if you're using Firefox, there is a Firefox data collection spot inside of the privacy and settings, which is inside of preferences. There's 4 boxes. It allows Firefox, if checked, to examine crashes and collect operational data. If you update your Firefox, which they like to do every month, sometimes they'll check them boxes and sometimes they'll leave them unchecked, but it is possible for them to flip.
Yeah, that's some of the things. Maybe I should add that to a hardening guide for Firefox. It's just to make sure that they're not toggling your stuff around. So, I think anyone else want to wrap up on that? Because I know we can have the rest of the time as an open chat, and I know Dan got an amazing pack of RAM from Amazon this week, right? So we'll get into that story. If anybody else has anything else to say about FOSS software specifically, go ahead and speak up now or forever hold your peace as we move on into just a random open chat, and we'll check in with the comments and stuff.
Well, there is one final thing I wanted to say, and it's about Firefox. The one thing I haven't liked about Firefox for at least the last year or two is there's going down a very severe rabbit hole for no apparent reason. They're starting to literally become like Microsoft, which is why, as of last night, I wasn't even going to attempt to run the latest Firefox. I just basically downgraded my Firefox down to Firefox 65, and that's where it's staying.
Yeah, well, one of the challenges, though, is that a lot of these websites are now built so that they will not even work if you do not have the latest version, which is annoying beyond extreme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it is very annoying because the thing is, I mean, most of the websites are changing their code all the time. New technologies are moving in, old stuff moving out. It's basically like they're trying to get rid of the older browser versions and force people to go to the new stuff, which is which is unfair.
Yeah, I mean, I use some pretty specialized tools for doing website analysis type stuff, and they do not work on newer browsers, and so I have to keep an old browser around. But then this greatly slows my development time. If a client's like, "Hey, fix my Shopify store," I'm like, "Oh God," because it's just like you can't use anything other than like the latest 2 versions of the browser, or it won't just like, hey, you might have page errors. It just doesn't work at all. It's just like, okay, you need to stop.
Yeah,
Firefox is annoying.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Firefox, basically, I'm just going to admit it right now. It has been highly surpassed by other browsers by now. I mean, look at what Brave is doing. Brave is like shooting like a rocket. And
the question is where's it shooting like a rocket to?
Exactly.
Big question.
Exactly, because I mean, I think Brave still has some stuff going on with it too.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to give up on Firefox, because if we give up on Firefox, we have now given up to all of the web browsers will be run on Chrome at base, and that's a bad thing. So like LibreWolf is very compelling right now. I still don't know if you can get any easy to install packages, but if you have the ability to get LibreWolf installed, LibreWolf is worth using.
Yeah, LibreWolf is good. I'm a little skeptical about WaterFox though, since they got bought by that one company.
I would probably steer clear of WaterFox when I might be rebuilding my systems over Christmas. If I do that, I'm not using. Yeah. I'm moving from WaterFox. So.
Yeah, but at least one browser has my attention right now, and that's LibreWolf. I'm considering reinstalling it back on my system.
Yeah, I run it on Arch right now, and it actually runs really well.
Is it a Chromium-based browser?
Firefox.
LibreWolf is Firefox-based.
And that's cool.
If I'm correct, besides LibreWolf, aren't there like a few Firefox variant browsers left besides LibreWolf?
Write that down.
WaterFox, I think.
Yeah, there's a few. I think LibreWolf might be the only other one that's following the more recent upgrade paths, which means they should still work on. They should still work on modern websites as well. But there's other ones like there's IceCat, Pale Moon. But I think these are based on older code, and they may or may not work on modern websites that we were talking about. I don't know.
The dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
I really like Pale Moon, but Pale Moon doesn't have any tabs or anything.
Yeah.
No extensions that I'm aware of.
Another Firefox variant that someone mentioned, Basilisk.
Basilisk, yeah. I've actually not looked at Basilisk or actually Pale Moon, believe it or not.
Sea Monkey is also pretty good, but again, it's probably going to be pretty limited as far as
Sea Monkey.
Yep.
So
if you're someone
hey Dan, I just love your RAM story. So you got some amazing RAM. I want to hear your story, Dan.
Okay, let's start with Monday this week. Monday this week, I had somebody that asked me if I could use my Amazon account and order them some RAM. So I got on Amazon, I found Corsair Vengeance RAM 16 gigabyte pack, and I ordered it, DDR4. And the turnaround time to get it to my house was Saturday. It was the due date. So fine, we can wait till Saturday to get it. So Wednesday, I heard something go bang, bang on the door. And when I went to the door, the driver had hopped in the truck and just split like no tomorrow, leaving an Amazon bag on my porch. So I pick up the bag and I'm like, damn, this is really heavy for RAM, because it was a pretty hefty package and it came in an Amazon bag. I brought it in, took some scissors, cut the bag open and pulled out a 2-pound bag of this stuff. Wonderful pistachios.
I mean, pistachios are good and all. I know they're pretty expensive, but man.
So I'm like, I'm in panic mode. Where's my RAM? I wanted RAM, not pistachios. Because RAM is kind of expensive. The pistachios are nice, but they soothe the purpose I'm going to use them for.
You can't speed your computer up with those.
I mean, the RAM slots don't take pistachio bags.
Yeah, I know.
So
I don't know.
I got on the computer, opened up the page to where I had purchased that, and I went through all the tracing down things for troubleshooting where your package is and everything else to the get help click-ons until I finally actually got to a phone number. Well, actually, it wasn't a phone number. It's use phone or communicate by chat.
Yeah, they'll call you, I think.
So you have to give them your phone number and they'll call you back. So I tried that route and they were very speedy. I put the phone number in and within 10 seconds, the phone rang. And I got a representative on the phone and explained this situation to her. And I showed him the RAM is still showing on the tracking page is still en route to coming here, but it hasn't arrived yet. So she transferred me to the logistics department. And the logistics department brought up my order number, looked at it, and she told me, I'll tell you what, wait until Monday and see if your RAM comes on Saturday. And I asked her, what do you want me to do with the pistachios? She told me to eat them, basically.
There you go.
You can have them.
I think, though, that the Amazon driver is actually trying to kill you. It's a hit on your life. Just be aware.
Well, it's really funny because if you look at the bag really closely, they put a label over a label, but it's almost so you can't notice it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what kind of made me freak out, too. But it shows, in their system that the RAM is still en route. I guess it wasn't at the facility here, and they had to get it from out of state. But the pistachios came from Kentucky.
All right.
So
some poor person is not getting their pistachios.
Yeah, the lady tried to convince me that they got the orders mixed up, or it was. And then she tried to say it was dropped at the wrong house. And how come the wrong house has my address on it?
Yeah, it's like the label has your address on it, I guess.
The bag has my address.
Yeah, just double check that it has been marked as delivered. I mean, that's what they're doing with the PS5s. Mark it as delivered and then keep the package or deliver something else, Like, here's a picture of the package at their house. It looks suspiciously like a package.
I didn't get no picture or nothing. They used to give me a picture. A while back, I ordered something, but I forgot it was. It wasn't in a very big box, but usually they leave them at the side door by the driveway because it's an easier door to get to and see where it's at. They actually went all the way around to the front of the house, to the other side of the house, and left the package there. And I knew the package was supposed to be there that day. And I'm outside and looking around on my porch, and there's no package. And I'm waiting, and the computer says it's delivered, and there's a picture of it. And I noticed the picture of it, and the porch is much different on the other side of the house, and the stairs do a 90-degree angle. And I'm looking, oh, they're at the other door. Sure enough, I walked to the other door and the package was sitting there.
Yeah, crazy. Quantum Alpha says pistachios. It's not a bug; it's a feature. Just, Now, if you were to order something, an Apple product, I'd definitely call that a feature, not a bug.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
I placed an order about last week, and it's going to be a month before it gets here.
Oh yeah, there's some things that are
really
shipping
slow
quick
up
and.
here.
Yeah, I've been doing rounds of orders to upgrade the studio stuff, and so far I have not gotten anything wrong yet, which is quite shocking. I think I've ordered probably about a dozen or so things in the last couple months, and no wrong orders yet. Very interesting.
Well, I heard all the stories about people getting dog food instead of their PS5s.
Yeah,
and that kind of freaked me out too. Luckily, they sent me something I can eat if I got to keep it.
Yeah, there you go. Better than sending you something like, I don't know, some New Kids on the Block CD or something.
I ordered RAM on Amazon last week. They processed the order, charged my card. I had canceled the order because I decided to wait until there was more money in my bank account so that I didn't drop below a certain amount. Excuse me, I try to keep a certain amount at all times. They processed the order, took my money off my card, which is fine. It was there. That's what it was there for. And emailed me 2 days later, or about a day and a half later, and said, I'm sorry, this memory is no longer in stock. You processed the order already. That's my RAM. I want my RAM. Had I not canceled the order, I'd have been pretty hot. Yeah. And now people are like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And here's the thing. I think our population has gotten so big in this country. We have so many people. These companies cannot maintain and manage their customer base. They have gotten so big and so powerful to the point where now everybody and their brother's mama relies on them, and they can't handle it. They can't handle the flow of customers.
With Amazon, they push their employees to work as fast as possible. I mean, speed is essential.
Yeah.
They won't even let the driver talk to you at the door for 5 minutes. I mean, he literally dumps the package, and if he's got time, he'll take a picture. And man, he's laying rubber down the street.
Kind of like that old Nintendo game, Paperboy, right? Remember we play Paperboy? You're the Paperboy on Nintendo, right? You're the Paperboy, and you got to drive by the neighborhood and just kind of throw the newspapers and land them in the right spot on the porch as you're driving by. You know what I mean? Stop.
I remember those days.
Yeah. Wife just said, man, why can't I get free nuts when I order shoes? That'd be nice. Because you're not nuts. That's why. Yeah, let's see.
I need to order myself some Raspberry Pi power supplies. I thought I had some, and I don't know, I was clearing a bunch of stuff, junk out, and I might have thrown them out or hid them on myself, put them in a better place. That's really bad. Never put them in a better place. But
yeah, I have one isolated spot for computer.
But they're out of stock in the local computer store here. We got a big computer store, Memory Express, and they're out of. They just got the regular Pi 4 kits and all that high end stuff. But so I guess I got to order some. But that'll be a month before they get here too, probably. I got to go to what's that pie place?
There's
a couple of them.
There's Canakit's the one I usually get stuff from.
Yeah, Canakit. Yeah, they're really good. I've got stuff from them before. And they're Canadian, I believe.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
so that might be a plus instead of crossing the border.
I think.
Hey, how is border crossing for orders and that sort of thing? Is it held up at the border, or is
I don't know. I don't think
goods.
I've ordered anything from. I mean, I've ordered stuff that was made in China, but I didn't order anything that I think specifically had to be shipped from China yet.
When it comes to stuff like that, I call when I'm digging around on the internet to buy something and I find it, I call that facility and ask them if they have it in stock, because I made the mistake one time of ordering a part from a website. I didn't get that part for at least 6 weeks because they had to bring it over from China.
Yeah, I actually had to order something from China. It was to fix this computer here, the clips that clip the fan, the processor fan on. The only place I get them from were China. They only cost me like $5, but I had to wait like 6 weeks to get them shipped over get 10 of them shipped over from China. Which it worked. It was fine. It's like it was okay. It was more of an inconvenience than anything major. So
I had a similar order. You said it was part of a computer, processing cooling. I had a little fan. Or you said, I didn't catch exactly what you said. I had a situation like that where I looked and looked and looked because the client had a mini ITX board, and the heat sinking fan on it, it was a soldered on CPU and a desktop. It was so weird, so unique of a system. It's the most unique system I've ever worked on. And it had like no power supply. It had like a laptop for the charger and stuff. And I had to get a little Scythe fan. It was made by Scythe, and Scythe makes good fans. And luckily, I lucked up because the only one that I could find was from China. I had to measure the fan, so I made sure I got the right size. And you have to make sure you get the fan with the right type of wires, because it wasn't like going and ordering a normal case fan for the side of a PC case. It was a bit of a pain just to find the right one and make sure that I got the right fan.
Yeah, the good news is you can find.
Was already waiting.
Yeah, bad news is it's going to take a while.
Yeah, but I actually lucked up. I had apparently a independent seller or something I had found had one, and he had one for sale that was new. I lucked up big time. So I hope if that hasn't arrived for the purposes that you need it for, I do hope that it gets there and it gets there unbroken and working.
Yeah. Mr. Tech Guy Dan, he said that the person who did not get their food got the memory instead.
Probably, most likely.
Well, it's easy enough to figure out.
The person that didn't get the pistachios and got the RAM is probably calling in the back, Grandma, I'm sorry, but they're not going to send your pistachios.
But I need my pistachios. You go to the store and get me pistachios. I need my pistachios.
We'll have to go to the grocery store, but I got RAM for my new computer you bought me, so I can play the Fortnite.
It says that it's en route on delivery.
All right.
Oh, good.
It doesn't say that it's arrived yet.
Yeah, it's 2020 and nothing has arrived yet.
Well, we all know why there's a whole bunch of delays.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I don't generally have a whole ton of mail issues out here. I've only had one package in the last few years disappear entirely. Unfortunately, it was pretty much a total loss. The only company that could do anything about it refused to even help, which was kind of like, you know what? That kind of irritates me, but oh well. We'll deal with it.
Well, up here I'm the clearinghouse for all the grandkids. Everything from Amazon comes here. So
there you go.
It's a residential area, so lots of them live in apartments or out of town and stuff. So
I'm surprised they're allowed to go pick stuff up from your house.
My RAM is in Chest Hills, Illinois, USA.
There you go.
It arrived there at 10 p.m. Wednesday.
So it's like, how did this bag of nuts get your address on it then?
I really don't know.
That must have just been another order. You probably had that bag of nuts that got added to your account for whatever reason instead of the person that won't be receiving
It's-
RAM, won't be
it-
receiving nuts, or receiving nothing.
It's an Amazon thing to psychologically test what happens when people receive the wrong stuff. Just watch, it'll come out. It's a Human Review Board study that never passed.
Well, back when the COVID stuff started koofing out, and that was back in March, I was in desperate need of some hair clippers. I couldn't find any hair clippers at Amazon or any local stores or anything like that, but they had some at Walmart.com. So I ordered the hair clippers from them. They disappeared in the mail, never seen them, couldn't find anybody to help me at Walmart. I was out $70 on that.
Wow.
That's insane.
I'll never use Walmart.com again.
Yeah.
I'd figure they'd have better customer service than that to like, we see you haven't received them. Here's a new pair, but I guess
The ones I ordered from eBay, I got the nice professional ones, the wall ones with the colored hair cones that go on the end. The whole kit, you get everything except a apron to put on. And that was $70, and it was twice the product I ordered from Walmart. But the guy said same day shipping on his eBay, thing. So that went out the same day, and I got them 4 days later.
Quantum Alpha is questioning your sanity, apparently ordering something from Walmart online.
Yeah, that's my first and last experience. Everybody's allowed to get burned once.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have major qualms about going into a Walmart. I won't order from them. I will not give them my private data. Unfortunately, I haven't been in one since, I don't know, May or something. Whenever they're like, you must wear a mask, and they put a mask Nazi by the door.
They built one here in my town. It stayed there for 5 years, and then they didn't tore it down, but they closed it.
Yeah, after all the mom and pop businesses went out of business, right?
Well, there's a Myers right across the street that competed with them. And they were one of my work customers because I went there to fix their equipment. And the manager over at Walmart said when they build one of them stores, they give them 5 years to turn a profit. If they don't turn a profit, they close them. What a waste of money.
Joe has had better customer service from Walmart than the USPS. That's not hard to do, though. We have a USPS guy here. Like, he's been a lot better lately, but they must have had a talk with him or something, because there'd be times I'd go in, and if his window's the only one open, I'll just leave and come back later. I'll go in there and I'm like, okay, I need to get this shipped here. How much is this? He's like, well, in that package, because it has that priority, I took a priority label mail and I ripped the part off that says priority mail, and I used the label to put the package in there, and he still refused to ship it any other way than priority mail. I'm like, fine, if I take the label off and go home and rebox it, how much is it? Well, I don't know, unless you put the stuff on it. Like, okay, moron, I just need a damn answer. Okay? I mean, really, just tell me how much does this cost to ship with this if I put a different label on the stupid thing. And fortunately, though, lately he's been a lot nicer. But
yeah, give me the lowest rate, that I can ship this and expedited.
My problem is when I order something now in the mail, it goes all around the country, even though it's in the next state over before it arrives here.
I got a better one for you. The company who prints my books when I'm doing books for my publishing company, they are literally printed 2 counties from me. They print from 2 counters from me. They ship them over to New Jersey. They fly them over to Ohio, over my whole state, and then they ship them in from Pittsburgh.
That's the same kind of stuff I get here. And, and not only that, they shipped it to Detroit Distribution Center. They take it all the way 96 and go up north, and then they take it to the Lansing. I could have intercepted them on the freeway and picked it up.
It's kind of like I'm coming into a flight in Detroit, right? And it's like they're late, and it's like Detroit. I can drive from Detroit back to where my car was at. It's like a 3 or 4 hour drive. I'm like, all right, just give me my luggage, and I'm just going to rent a car and drive the rest of the way because I don't really want to stay here overnight. They're like, no, we can't do that. Like, really? You can't just give me my luggage.
I love small mom and pop businesses because, I mean, I kind of am one. I'm small, but I go into my well, it used to be Going Postal. They started their own thing, and I just walk in there, say, I need this shipped out. Here is the label. Here's the label. I've got it printed out, and yeah, I want this. And they, all right, thanks. And they just take care of it. They print out a receipt. I have the tracking number on the receipt, so I have a copy. And it said, if you need anything else, let us know. And I said, well, do I not owe you anything for the boxes or anything? Nah. I'm like, seriously? Do you not want to make money today? Because the packaging isn't free, but they're super, super good.
Well, if it's USPS, was that USPS or who was that?
That's the post office.
Usually,
Yeah. Well, if you go to the post office, there's two different types of boxes. If you're using priority mail boxes, those are free. If you're using the other ones that are for like first class, you have to pay for those.
Yeah.
They're not free. You pay for them with the priority mail.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you don't have to pay extra for them. So if you're shipping priority mail, don't bother wasting your packaging. Just use their packaging. In other words.
Right. Yeah, and I normally try to do Well, what I'll do, I'll print. It's already the way I normally do it. I have them just send me a label, and I just print it out on the printer, and then I take it in with the item. And I'll usually I'll grab. I don't even have to do it, but I'll grab one of my packaging envelopes or whatever and stick it in there. A lot of times it's RAM or something like that, and I'll send it. I just hand it off to them. They're so easy to work with and deal with.
Returning something to Amazon is pretty easy too. You just take the item to the UPS store, and they automatically know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an Amazon pickup location
my point was, as far as they have processes in place that are sensible, and I know a lot of that's on the back end with UPS and the way it's set up. I was just making a point where it's just easier to deal with smaller companies like that, just in general.
DirecTV's the same way. I canceled my DirecTV because they keep jacking up the price. All they wanted back was the receiver. Take it to the UPS store. They know what to do with it. And they did.
Yeah.
It must be because everybody's returning theirs.
Yeah. Oh, another one, huh?
Yeah,
Charter still has in their mind. Charter Communications is still convinced we have a cable box that we have not returned yet. We returned everything that I'm aware of. I have searched high and low in this house. And the girl, we drove all the way to Mulberry because the idiots removed a location locally, and we had to drive another 20 to 30 minutes to the Mulberry area to get there and go in. I probably shouldn't even say that, but it's fine. Yeah, they were like, are you sure you have another cable box and you're being charged on that on your account each month? And I'm like, no, we're not. So we're not, that I'm aware of, unless mom's paying that and it's just built into the pricing and we don't realize.
Did you ask them for the serial number to the box?
No, I probably should have. I just told her, honey, I was ill that day. And I had a bad day that day too, and I'm just like, okay. I said, okay, whatever. I looked at her. I said, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll look again, and I was gonna look again. I fully intended to, and I was like, where is there to look that I haven't looked 5 times already? And she's convinced we do, and I'm like,
these guys they're just trying to find every possible way to jack up the prices more.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go ahead and
I think that's bottom line what he just said.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap this guy up. So we'll give us any final thoughts. We'll go up there with Ricky Ricky down south. Give us your final thoughts.
Well, I appreciate being here. It's been fun to talk about FOSS software. I'm hoping we can talk more about FOSS software in the immediate future.
Absolutely. Mark, give us your final thoughts.
I'm Mark. Thanks for coming. I don't feel like promoting anything tonight. It's just one of those nights.
One of those days. All right.
Disappointed with something that I did.
Yeah, Rick up north. Any thoughts on your end?
Well, I like the choice of lots of selection in open source software. The problem is trying to find something that's suitable because there's so much, right? 10,000 or 20,000. So,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
and each distribution offers a little different selection. So, but yeah, it's nice to have that problem.
Yeah,
You're looking.
there's some good software out there, that's for sure. It's got to hunt around. Dan, final words?
I want to thank all the fine people out there that actually develop FOSS software. If you have a FOSS software package that you are really fond of, please donate somehow to that that software distributor, either in helping with documentation, a donation, any of them things would certainly help them out. And as that goes, FOSS software, there's nothing like it on the planet. It's good stuff.
Absolutely. So yeah, like I said, you can use FOSS software just as a hobbyist. I use it to run all the businesses I run these days. So that's good. We will be doing a live stream on my Christian channel tonight in about 1 hour's time. So if you'd like to join me on over there, I will drop the link in there in the chat. So you can find the link over there, and we will see you tomorrow for the weekly news roundup. And of course, next Thursday is Christmas Eve. We will not be doing a stream then. We will not be doing a stream next Wednesday. We will probably not be doing a stream next Friday on Christmas. But we'll come up with 1 or 2 videos until then. We'll just have a kind of a lazy schedule until January, and I'm going to be doing some exciting things around here that I haven't told the supporters yet. So we'll talk to the supporters about that first, and then you guys will hear about it later, or you'll just see it. I don't know. But anyway, we will see you guys next tomorrow is the weekly news roundup. We will see you there, and then I'll be kind of taking a little bit of a break. So we'll see you guys.
Yeah, you look a little tired.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I'm cutting off the 24th and not going back in.